All right, hey guys, how we doing? Hopefully yesterday went pretty well. Make sure that you have your assignment from yesterday where we had to convert those mixed numbers into improper fractions, because we're going to take a look at those answers here in a second, and then we'll go ahead and work on multiplying our mixed numbers, seeing what happens. All math that we've done before, so hopefully the process isn't too complicated, and then the biggest thing is just actually converting the numbers and doing the multiplications. So we're going to get started here in a second, and let me just adjust the camera so that we can you can see the board, and we'll keep working. Okay, here are our answers from yesterday. So for number 1, we got 19 fourths. Number 2, 61 eighths. Number 3, 34 fifths. Number 4, 49 ninths. Number 5, 56 sixths. And number 7, 207 tenths. So just make sure you mark down somewhere, even send me a quick message on Canvas to let me know how many of those you got correct out of the 6. I'm hoping everybody's got at least 5 out of the 6, if not all 6. And if that's the case, then today's lesson shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so like I said, we're going to work on multiplying the mixed numbers today. Let's start with something relatively straightforward, like let's try 3 4/5 times 5. Okay, all right, there we go. So we should know how to convert this into an improper fraction, and we should also know how to make this into an improper fraction. So what's the process again for converting this? That's right, you take the denominator times the whole number, and then you add the numerator. So if we go times and plus, we get 5 times 3 is 15, plus 4 is 19, so that gives me 19 fifths. Okay, how do we write 5 as an improper number? That's right, we just put it over 1 because it's a whole number, right? So now I have 19 fifths times 5 over 1. Now we could do 19 times 5 and 5 times 1 and do that and do our division, but if you notice, we can cross cancel here because we have both a 5 and a 5. Once I do that, 5 divided by 5 is 1 on both ends, which gives me 1s everywhere but the 19, so then 19 times 1 is 19. Okay. Another step that we could do to double check our answer, or we could even do this step first, is in our original problem we could do some estimation. So if we have 3 4/5, what whole number is that closest to? That's right, it's closest to 4, and then we have 4 times 5 because 5 is close to that. And 4 times 5 is, that's right, 20. Was our answer reasonable? Absolutely it was. Okay. So again, we're just converting our whole mixed numbers into improper fractions and then doing that multiplication. In this case, we had 2 improper fractions because we were multiplying a mixed number by a whole number. So let's try with something else and see how that process goes. Let's try multiplying a mixed number and a fraction. Okay, so let's start with 3/4 times 8 1/2. Okay, 3/4 times 8 1/2. So once again, let's try our estimation at the start this time. So which whole number is 3/4 closest to? 0 or 1? That's right, it's 1. And then how about 8 1/2? That's closer to 8 or 9. Yep, when we have half or higher, we round up. So 1 times 9 is, of course, 9. Let's see how that plays out. All right, do we need to change 3/4 at all? Nope, because we just have our fraction. We know we can multiply. Doesn't matter. Okay, again, our process here is you multiply the denominator by the whole number and add the numerator. So 2 times 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17. So we get 17 halves. Okay, do we have any easy cross-canceling here? 3 and 2 and 4 and 17? No, so that means we're going to actually have to do the math out here. So I'm going to multiply 17 times 3. 3 times 7 is 21, carry the 2. 3 times 1 plus 2 is 5, so that's 51 over, our denominator is 4 times 2, so that's 8. But now we have an improper fraction. What we need to do is convert that back to a mixed number. So again, like we practiced yesterday, fraction bar means that we're doing division. So 51 divided by 8. How many times does 8 go into 51? That's right, 6. And what is 8 times 6? 8 times 6 is 48. So if I subtract 51 minus 48, I get 3 over 8. So that's 6 and 3/8. Now, how does that track with this? Not too bad, right? So it works out, and we got the correct answer. Okay? All right, let's do one more together, and then I will have you do a couple, okay? So let's try 2 whole numbers by each other right now. We're going to go with 2 1/6 times 4 1/2. Okay, there we are. So we can once again do our estimation. Here, I'm going to say that's 2, and that's about 5. So 2 times 5 is going to give me 10 for my estimate. So that's a good way to check and see if everything is going all right. Okay, so when I convert these two here, I get 6 times 2 plus 1, that's 13/6 times 2 times 4 plus 1, that's 9/2. Okay, 13/6 times 9/2. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to look and see if there's any cross canceling I can do, because it's going to make my life easier at the end. I know 2 and 13 aren't going to work, but 6 and 9 both have a common factor of, 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now I can do my multiplication across. So 13 times 3 is 39, and 2 times 2 is 4. Again, I have to reconvert now, so I have 39 over 4, and I'm going to do my division. How many times does 4 go into 39? Yep, that's 9. 9 times 4 is 36, so once I subtract my 36 here, that leaves me with 3 over 4. That's a terrible looking 3 I got there, but that's what happens. Yep, 9 3/4, and look at that, it meets up with our estimate right there. Okay? All right, so that's the process. If you need to kind of look at the process again, remember you can always rewind and kind of check it out. So now let's see how well you do, okay? I want you to do 1 1/8 times 3 1/3. That's 1 1/8 times 3 1/3. All right, go ahead and pause the video here while you do the problem, and then we will check it in a second, okay? So our answer after everything becomes 3 3/4. Okay, if you didn't get that, I want you to pause, go back through, and try the work again, remembering to convert your mixed numbers into improper fractions, then multiply, look for any cross-canceling to help you. Then once you get your improper fraction at the end, convert it back into a mixed number. You might have to simplify the fraction at the end. All right, so I'm going to give you 2 more problems to do, and these I want you to write down, and you're going to bring into class tomorrow so we can take a look and see how we did on these, okay? All right, so we'll call this number 1 on this one, and number 1 is going to be 3 1/5 times 2/3. Okay, so that's 1 to do on your page. And the other one is 3 1/4 times 6. 3 1/4 times 6. All right, we've done all these types of problems so far in this video. So again, if you're stuck, rewind, kind of check to see how we do the process again. All right, and like I said, I want you to bring these problems in for tomorrow, and we will take a look at them. And then you can go ahead and keep following the directions of the assignment on Canvas, and we will go from there. All right, good luck, and I will see you soon.